Hi, this is Jody Colegrove with Quantum Techniques. We have developed a proven technique to quickly determine the root cause of your health issue using a form of energy medicine. I work with people on the phone all over the world, helping them determine why they're having a health issue and what they can do about it. One of the big things that we run into at Quantum Techniques is mold. And pretty much everybody has been exposed to mold in one way or another. And this can be from your cars, it can be from homes, it can be from work, plant, dirt, it happens. And so how we react to mold we react to mold more if we have an internal mold environment that's impacted from the outside. So in other words, if we are carrying mold inside our body, then we will react more to mold in our environment. So you need to clean up both the internal and the external. Okay, so each person reacts to mold differently. And I saw an article once in a paper where they had talked about mold, and some people wrote in and saying, oh, this just, you're just, what's the big deal kind of thing. And they kind of responded and saying, no, it really is a big deal of people that have really had issues. And so I thought it was kind of profound what she said, is that most doctors won't acknowledge that there's a mold issue or component to health. And we do find that mold grows much more quickly than virus and bacteria, and it can also be the start of a deeper disease, and usually is always present in cancer. And so things it can cause is bronchitis, yeast-type infections, memory issues, attention span issues, exhaustion, extreme fatigue, hair loss, shortness of breath, anxiety, depression, enlarged lymph nodes, tonsils, swollen nasal passages, broken arm because the bones get weak, nosebleeds, pain, hypersensitivity, bloating, and eye floaters, which I thought was kind of interesting. And so it can be manifested in every different way. So for me, if I have mold in my environment, what I find is that my brain starts racing. And so I'm like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, and do that, and it's like I can't quite sit down and really concentrate on getting something done. So that's just personally how I've noticed how it impacts me. So if you suspect that you have mold in your environment, what you can do is you can call us at Quantum Techniques and we can muscle test your home, car, work, and find out what needs to be cleaned up. And sometimes it can be something simple, and sometimes it can be way more complicated. So it just depends. A lot of times we'll have you send us pictures, and so we can actually look at the different rooms and the different walls and the ceiling and the floor and really be able to see what is causing the issue. There are simple things to help clean up. If you've had a roof leak, then there may be more extensive. In other words, you actually need to, deal with taking off drywall, repainting, looking at the studs, looking at the insulation, all that kind of stuff that's involved. But if it's something where what we have here in Louisiana, if we open the window and it's a moist day, that humidity will come inside and sometimes it will land on the walls and then start growing. Now, here's an interesting tidbit that I didn't know about when I listened to a webinar I found out. Back in the 1990s, I think it was, they started producing paint that had antifungal properties. Well, what that did, if you're also aware of, when we use too many antibiotics, we become antibiotics sensitive, so that the antibiotic becomes super bugs basically, and they won't respond to antibiotics. Molds have become the same way because of putting those antifungals in the paint. And so it's almost like they have adapted to say, well, we want to breed here, but we need to get over what this is. So it's like they're producing more super fungal molds, if you want to think of it that way. All right. So simple way of cleaning that up is, this mold killer product that I usually tell people to get. And it's by, and I'll have to give you, it's MINERAL methods. So mineralmethods.com is where you get this from. And they also have a website, which is itk1.com. So I think either one of those would work, but I get a jug here. I put it into a squirt bottle And then spend, or as I muscle test, in other words, if I have the racing thoughts, then I go, okay, where is this coming in at? And so I'll just kind of give you an example of what I've found in my own house. So we have found that we pretty much have air, central air, and so it takes care of the mold. But there are certain closets where they don't get any sunshine. And so we've put boat heaters in those closets to help protect that. Then I have one particular room that doesn't get any sunshine whatsoever. And so what I have found is if I'm going to be in that room, I turn on the lamps, because me just aspirating in and out and breathing and talking in that room will create some moisture, but the lamps will help use up the moisture in the air. So by doing that, I only have to, let's say, run an air purifier in that room twice a month. Okay, and then I find every 3 months I actually have to clean the ceiling. Is the only place that the mold shows up, which I think is odd, but I have to clean the ceiling once every 3 months. In my son's room, it gets more, but it does have carpet. It gets more sunshine, but it does have carpet, and so I run the air filter in there once a month. So you've got the mold killer information. The air purifier that I would suggest, but there's lots out there, and we can muscle test to find out what's helpful, is Pure Air for Life, and it's PUREAIRFORLIFE.biz/index. And it's called Royal Air Champion. And to do a whole house, the filter is anywhere usually between $800 to buy. There are cheaper ones out there, and so if you're just trying to do a room, we can muscle test to find out if that's helpful. But this particular one has oh boy, I'm going to forget the name now. It has ozone with it, and so it really leaves the whole area very fresh. It's not true ozone, which is hard to breathe, but this is the ozone that is safe for you. So that's the air purifier that I run in our house all the time, and then specific bedrooms I run at certain times. I also run it every 4 months in my car, and I just leave it in there for several hours to clear it out. All right. So herbs that you can take to help clean your body, and I was going to bring those, but those are things like the MMS is very helpful, Miracle Mineral Supplement. Things like Fungus Fighter and Intestinal Defense, Parasite Cleanse. All of those help get rid of those mold in the body. Grapefruit seed extract is very helpful. Also, something called molecular silver is helpful to get rid of the mold inside. And a new herb that I have found that is really, really good, but you really have to be careful, is, and I'm going to try to say this right, Cetomycin boulardis. Saccharomyces boulardis. There we go. And I have started taking this, I would say, in the last month or 2 months, and it's really strong, but it really gets at it. And so I started with 1 full pill, didn't notice much, so took another pill, and I was like, wow, I am off. Something is just really weird. And sure enough, I just had some brain fog, but what it was doing is it was getting rid of viruses, bacteria, and old fungal frequencies that were in my body. So I tested to say, okay, how much can I take and my body can handle detoxing so it's not too much? So I found that for me, doing 1/3 of a capsule is well. So I started giving it to my husband and my son, and my husband developed some kidney pain, and my son developed headaches. And I wouldn't say developed, in other words, they had it there. That's where the mold was, but it showed up as trying to detox too quickly. So I backed them off. So I now do a pinch for my husband once a week. I do 1/4 of a capsule twice a week, but I've also taken it, let's say, longer. And then for my son, we actually take a toothpick, dip it in it wet, and take out just that amount for him to do once a week. So that's why I'm saying it's very strong. And you want the body to get rid of these frequencies so that it doesn't have inflammation and it gets rid of extra weight. and helps your body be healthier so that you don't have those pathogens still in the body affecting you. But you don't want to do it so fast that you get side symptoms. So just a cautionary tale there. So you can visit quantumtechniques.com and learn more about different health ways to take care of your health and happiness. You can request a session request with Jody at quantumtechniques.com, and we can find out how mold is impacting you, what kind of things you need to take to help your internal body be healthier, and if there's something in your environment that you need to clean up because it's impacting your health also. So blessings from Quantum Techniques.